Hey, good to see you again. Thanks for checking this video out. Really do appreciate it. This tune that we're going to go over right now, if you already figured it out, it's Far Behind by Candlebox. Had no plans on even thinking of this, didn't even think of this song just until maybe about an hour or so ago. Was going through a binder of just sheet music that I had from stuff from, for those of you who know me going back into the Deep in the Pocket days, we're talking, 2008, 2009, probably before that. So it was a tune I learned for that band, and I've done it since then. And then a few years back, I saw Candlebox doing an acoustic version of this, which was similar but different, different arrangement, and really liked that. Never had a chance to really play it out live, but I've always kind of noodled around with it, and it's really straightforward. It follows the original version, the full band version on the first album, Candlebox, from, I guess it was the 93 album, their debut album, I think it was. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong there. 93 or 94. It's just a great album. First saw them on MTV back when MTV was MTV and they played music. And just thought the sound of the band, number one, was incredible. I really kind of, as soon as I heard the guitar tone from Peter Klett on those songs for Change and You, was blown away. Just something about it I really dug. And then hearing Far Behind, which I think was the third release, at least the video that I remember seeing on MTV. That was something I really enjoyed. And then I had the privilege of seeing them. I think it was 3 times, if I remember correctly, all 3 times that I saw Rush on the Counterparts tour in 93. Yes, the album must have come out in 93, not 94. So 93, when they opened for Rush, I saw them in Hartford, I saw them at the Meadowlands, and I have to assume the third one I saw was Madison Square Garden. And then saw them again, I think, a year or 2 later when their second album came out, as they were the main act. But just really dug what they were doing and the whole thing. But what I'm going to do here is, even though I've got the electric sitting in my lap right now, I'm going to just kind of walk you through how I've played the acoustic version. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of playing through that Spark 40 amp by Positive Grid. I'm just using one of the stock presets for the acoustic type of sound. So I'm sure it'll sound better with an acoustic guitar, but just kind of noodling with this here. But it sounds pretty decent, just to kind of get the point across. And then what I might do is at the very end here, maybe just walk you through a couple of the key signature pieces that are more relevant towards the heavier side of the thing. Just a couple things here. There's a couple riffs, couple interesting chords they play. I'll walk you real quick through that intro as well, that you all kind of know. Right, that whole thing. Pretty straightforward, but again, it all follows the 4 chords I played before: G, E minor, D, and C. So, I'll stop talking now because I know I've rambled for a bit. So let's take a closer look at this tune. Okay, so let's take a closer look at Far Behind by Candlebox. Couple of the ways I guess, you, anybody can play it, I guess. But I wanted to show you just kind of like the acoustic version that I've seen, and how I kind of just, translated it into, the album version that I think we all know, and how I do it. It's 4 chords. So if you know your G, an E minor in general will work, your D, and your C. That's going to be your intro and your verse. So for the intro, most of us know the intro as far as, you're playing it up here. Right? So, but when you're kind of in, especially if it's just you on an acoustic guitar, or one guitar, one person singing, I think it's kind of tough to pull that off and just sound fluent, unless you got another guitar playing, underneath that. So what I do is I'm taking the G chord. So here what I do is, so it's very similar to this, right? But it's just a little bit of a fatter sound. The G is still my bass note, because here's a G, there's my G, right? So I'm going to just strum the chord a little bit, and I'm going to slide down the whole chords, just a whole step. So from 3 to 5. As far as the strumming, just listen to it. Right? You can go back and rewind this. That's the beauty about video. So Now, you're going into the E minor next, so what you can do is if you really are still kind of learning certain chords, there's your E minor, right? So it's your open 6, 2 and 2 on the A and the D string, and then everything else is open. Right? Just like that. Just like that. Okay? Okay. But what I do is coming out of this G chord, I am still leaving my index and ring finger anchored on the B and the E string, right? So if I'm playing the G chord, I'm keeping those fingers there, and I'm taking these two to form my E minor. So again, open E, 2nd fret still for the A, and 2nd fret for the D string. It just kind of gives a little extra something there as far as the layers, right? So it's... So what I do is going to that transition from the G, I really give it a good accent on that open E string to go into that chord. So it's... Right? And then from there I'm going to the D. To the C. And that C you can play either like a traditional open C, or just kind of play like that C add 9. Probably actually I would say for the verse, intro and verse, you want to play that C add 9. This I tend to do in the chorus. So let's stick with this, right? So all together. To the D. To the C. A repeat. So there's your verse right there, okay? Excuse me, that's intro. And then the verse is going to be basically the same thing. Now maybe, right? And here's the other thing. If you can't do that slide, no big deal. Just hang on that G. A traditional open E minor to the D to the C add 9, or just play a traditional C. So we're not doing anything really crazy here. Just, 4 chords we all kind of learn early on. So there you go. Okay, and then we go to the chorus. Same thing. So again, you can make this your own. You want to play the slide anywhere you want, do it. You want to play just a regular E minor, whether it's in the verse or the chorus, it's up to you. The only thing I tend to do differently, and again, just to kind of give it some dynamics, I tend to, only in the chorus, when it comes to that C, so I'm just kind of walking that bass note. So if you're talking on a traditional C chord, I'm going from the, again, we're on the A string, 5th string, the C note, to the B note, open A to that G. Oops, let's get that right. And one of the other things I also do just for dynamics is that when I'm playing in the chorus with these chords, I keep the G as it is, and I purposely play just an open E minor. I don't use these strings. I just want to give it a little bit of, just a little bit difference between the two, right? So right there, you got your intro, your verse, and your chorus, okay? So what's going to happen if you go after your second chorus, it's going to go into the solo. So what I have here, so there's a couple things you can do. You can just skip that whole section altogether, go right into the bridge, or just kind of, noodle around. Well, I should get that right again. again, all I'm doing is taking those 4 chords we've already gone over, and I'm just giving them different accents. Whatever you want to do is going to be, it's going to work. Trust me. And then coming out of, I guess it's the solo, it gets a little tricky, but it's still, if you hold that E minor, you should be okay. So, you know, again, you're coming out of solo, and, you know, I'm not going to really go into that, but, right, you know, it goes through all that. And then as it's coming out of that solo, it goes into this, I think you can call this the Hendrix E chord, right? So it's, you know, you're strumming all 6 strings. And what this chord is, it's an open E. You're going to be on the 7th fret A string, so that's another E right there. And then I'm going to take my index finger on the 4th string, 6th fret, ring finger, 7th fret G string, and then pinky on the B string, 8th fret, and both high and low E's are open. And again, if you're a Rush fan and this sounds familiar, I keep mentioning Rush, but it's kind of funny how all this comes around one way or the other. That's the end chord to Working Man, right? So that's more like the Hendrix chord right there. So it's, so obviously it's a little more beefy when you're playing it in the you know, full band. So you can do that if you want, just kind of figure something out there, or just play the E minor. Play an E chord, play an E7, but make it yours, whatever you want to do. But then there's a walk down transition into the bridge. You don't need to do it, but if you want to, it starts off on the A string, 7th fret, A string, 5th fret. You're going to go up to the E string, and then it's 7, 6, 5. And I usually hit that open E to go into, I don't know, I just usually hit it to that G. So it's, so it's the same amount of measures you have in the verse and the chorus, but instead of 4 chords, you're going with just 2. It's your G. And if you saw what I did there, I kind of bounced from this just to an open E minor. Just leave the open E minor. Okay? So it's, and that's really how the song goes out from there. It's those 2 chords, and this riff gets kind of thrown in it, I think twice, and then at the outro of the song is basically just, you end on the G or however you want to end it, right? So that's how you would do that. So I have company. Say hi, Sam.
Hello.
Okay. A rarity. Special guest showing up there. But anyway, that's how we do the song. Right, Sam?
Yeah. What's up?
Can you be a little more... Just say right. Just say right.
Yeah.
Just come in the camera and say it. Come on. You're right there. Stick your head in there.
Yeah.
Right? Perfect. My girl. So, that's the song. Hope it helped you out. Let me know if you have any comments or questions below. Sam, what do we do if they like the video? Oh, boy. Anyway, thank you. Hope that helped out a little bit there, okay?